Scooby Doo was a big part of my childhood. I loved it. Look at these great colors. Hey guys, today we're looking at this Scooby Doo Friends and Foes action figure collection by Character Limited, a toy company I'm not familiar with, and there's Zonk's points inside at zonkspoints.com. All I know is I used to love this show as a kid. Scooby Doo is still popular today. Lego is releasing all of these new Scooby Doo sets, and these are some pretty classic characters from the television series. I have fond memories of all of these friends and foes. On the back they have a little description of the characters, and they have ages on them, and it tells you the names of the foes as well. Little bios on each of them. I'll hold that there for you so you can read that if you're interested. Now I'm gonna open this up. It's rated 3+, and they seem pretty cartoon accurate, and I'm excited to take a look at these. This is a big set. Like, this is a lot of figures. Because I paid $20 for it. And there's 10 figures, that's $2 a figure. Definitely a good price. I'm going to start off with Scooby Doo himself. This is what he looks like. He looks pretty good, definitely cartoon accurate. There is a lot of articulation here too. Each leg has a little bend forward and a little bend backwards. And it turns all the way around at the body. Each leg is the same. Goes the same for the hind legs. So just a little back, a little forward here. At the knees, the tail swivels around, and his head swivels around. The legs are of a more rubbery material. The body is a solid. He's a very solid figure, and he's got a really good expression on his face. You can see his dog tag. It says Scooby Doo on it. And he can be put in some pretty crazy poses. Cute. Definitely not disappointed. Great plastic, great paint jobs. Scooby Doo is 7, it says in the back of the box. Next we have Velma. Velma has little red shoes, some knee-high socks, her spectacles. She's got some bows in her hair that are not painted. And her orange turtleneck with her sleeves rolled up and just slight elbow articulation. Her head turns all the way around. Slight articulation. She's got a fist in that hand, an open hand over here. She doesn't come with any accessory to hold, but she could hold something in that hand. And her knees bend, and the joints are really nice and stiff. So, another great looking character. Nice and rubbery at the important parts. Yeah. Feels like a sturdy, nice character. It also stands on its own. There are no pegs in the bottom of the feet. Next we have Shaggy. Nice, super lanky. His arms move all the way around. He's got elbow joints. They move quite deep. He's got one hand lowered, one hand out. Very traditional Scooby pose. A long neck. His head swivels all the way around. You can see his beard. And yeah, his eyes aren't painted the best, but from a distance he really actually does look like himself. His body definitely does. He's got shorter legs than he does arms. His knee joints are really good. His legs he can go into a nice sitting position. as far as it goes. His legs move this far back, and his feet are nice and wide, like his black shoes. They seem to go out. Does he have any problem standing? He can stand on... No, he can stand quite easily. If you bend his legs, he can stand on one foot easily like this. And he can balance because his feet are so big that not a problem with him balancing if the surface is flat. So yeah, Shaggy, really good character. His body proportions are pretty awesome, very cartoon accurate. Next we move on to Fred. Shaggy is age 17. Fred is also aged 17. He is wearing his ascot. Got a more broader torso, thinner waist, smaller legs. He's got his bell bottoms on and smaller feet. He stands okay. His articulation is, his head does turn all the way around. His arms do move all the way around. He bends at the elbows. He bends at the waist with his legs, bend at the hip rather, and his knees bend. The next figure in the package to end out the good guys is Daphne. Daphne looks amazing. They really are like a good feeling figure. Like, I didn't know from the box, I couldn't tell if they were made of cheaper plastic, but I like that they're slightly have this more rubbery plastic. It seems like Daphne's articulation is a little different, so that's cool. She is hindered in some places. She too has a scarf, complementary to her hair color. She's got her orangey hair. Her head does not move. It's like it can move all the way around, but it is, well, I don't know. It seems to only go that far. It's pretty good for her hair not getting in the way. Her elbows move like this, and her arms do move around. And they can, if her hair doesn't get in the way, they can move all the way around. Her waist, she swivels at, unlike any of the other figures. So that's a new point of articulation for her. Her skirt is preventing her from moving her thighs to a really good sitting position. So this one thigh can move a bit further than the other one. But they did make up for that by giving her a swivel waist. Can she stand? She does stand quite well. So the figures all stand quite well. Pink leotards, purple shoes. Let's move on to the foes. The first one is Ghost Racer. Oh, he is heavy and definitely sturdy. No, they don't have masks that come off, because the one thing about Scooby Doo is you always found out that the ghosts and the goblins and all the monsters were actually humans in disguise. He's got a very scary face, and on the back he's got some open spiky wheel, I don't know, muddy, I don't remember what happened with him and why that stuff is on his back, but I would like to see the episodes again, because I definitely remember him. I think these figures are all featured in the intro credits too, so you saw them a lot. Okay, so his articulation is his elbows bend like this, and it's funny because these grooves kind of fit into each other. It makes his elbows flat, so it makes me think that he does something. I'm not sure, but anyway, I hope I'm not missing anything. He's super cool. His legs move, that's as far as they go forward like this. That gets him in definitely a very good crouching position. His knees bend like that. His arms move all the way around and bend at the elbows really deeply. He's got his gloves on, he's got his helmet on, and his head moves this way. So, great, sturdy, heavy feeling figure. I'm going to see if he stands. He stands really well. Oh, his hands are so creepy. When he stands, he really looks like a zombie. Awesome. Now, this guy's very memorable from the opening credits. He is the 10,000 volt ghost. He is quite big. He's more hollow. He's still heavy. He's not as rubbery feeling. And his articulation is he's like a big teardrop blob kind of thing. So his arms go all the way around, and his elbows are stuck. So, but when they do move, that's a really deep bend. This one is stuck though. I'm afraid to... It looks like it might be painted shut. I definitely don't want to break it. Funny that it doesn't move at all. Now it's working. I think it was painted shut. Now the elbows are really loose once you get them. Take a look at his eyes, his electric mouth, and his knees bend pretty good. He's got hollow feet on the bottom. It's the first figurative hollow feet. They do bend this way as well. So he could sit in a funny position like this, kind of. He feels really good, actually. He's still heavy, and he is see-through, and he has no problem standing up at all. Even though his knees are quite loose, they lock into place, kind of. So that is the 10,000 volt ghost. Oh, there's an accessory coming in this one. We've got the ghost of Redbeard, and he looks like this, and comes with an accessory, this sword. And I love pirates, so I'm very happy to have another pirate. Never can have too many pirates. Okay, his sword is really hard to get into his hand because it's really rubbery, so the end, when you're pushing it in, you got to get it past that first notch. Once you do, it fits in there really nicely. Yeah. Oh, I love the way that it looks when he holds it out. He has no elbow joints. The accessory makes up for that. And he can swivel his arm all around, and he swivels his arm all around. His head does not move as well, so no head articulation. That goes for 10,000 volt ghost, because he doesn't really have a separate head. And this guy also has no articulation in his legs. Interesting. And none in his waist. So the only articulation he has is his arms spin around. Yeah, that's the only thing. But he does come with a sword. And his sculpt is pretty good. And he's a pirate. So come on. The next we have is Witch Doctor, who also has an accessory. So we can put these in Velma's hand, because she has her hole looks pretty small though. Maybe. Oh no, you know what? He has limited articulation too. His accessory came in his hand, but that's okay. His arms move. They're out to the side. And interesting how the articulation is getting less and less. You can see that he's got a head back there. They did paint his hair and everything in the back, so that's good attention to detail. You can't see his face. And he's got great things on his ankles. And look at this feet sculpt is incredible. So, yeah. So again, just his arms move. But definitely a great looking figure. Guess they're making up for the lack of articulation with accessories with those two. Last but not least, the beast of the Bottomless Lake. I could see how this guy could be a favorite. He's got a good sculpt. Let's take a look at that. He's got a fin. He's got a tail. Look at that face. His arms move all the way around. He does have elbow joints. Got scales on the sides of his arms. Look at his webbed hands. Awesome. How do his feet look? Elbows bend in. His legs spin all the way around. He has knee bends and that much. His tail has a cut, but it's not an articulation point. Okay, it is an articulation point. I'm not sure if it I wouldn't really do it because it mixes up the thing and it might not actually be a real one. But yeah, so his tail is capable of spinning. And yeah, so he's a pretty awesome big character. Hollow body, rubber arms, good quality plastic, great paint job. This is a lot of figures, 10 figures in this pack. So a good value. Make sure you price match this if you're not getting it for $19.99 at Toys R Us. I think that's the only place I've seen it. Yeah, you can get it. It's online for $19.99, so they'll price match that if you don't get it for $19.99. And then you'll at least get each figure for $2, which is definitely worth it. Scooby Doo was a big part of my childhood. I loved it. Look at these great colors. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. There we go. Hey guys.